Hello KIN163 students. This is the last chapter we're going to cover for the physical fitness portion of this class. So it is the program design, and this chapter presents a step-by-step plan for creating and maintaining a well-rounded fitness program. So if we look at the outline, it's a relatively short and a brief chapter, and that's not going to be included in the final exam. But this is great for your own life and also for the extra credit assignment if you choose to do it. So we will be able to develop a personal fitness program with the information that we learned so far, and then we'll put that plan into action, and we will learn the strategies to put that plan into action. So what are the steps to create that plan or program? First, we need to set the goals, and then we select the activities, apply fit formula for each activity we choose to include in our program design, and then we'll talk about the strategies to for us to be able to maintain our commitment to our plans, including set up mini goals and rewards, include lifestyle, physical activity, monitor progress, and make a commitment. Set goals. So we would like to develop different types of goals, either generic or general and specific, long-term and short-term. You need to be able to answer this question: what do you want to achieve? To be able to do that, I would draw your attention into this red statement. You need to be able to tell where you stand right now. So that's called fitness assessment, and assessing fitness can help setting your goals. So what are those general goals? Feel better about yourself. That would be a general goal. And if we look at the specific ones, tone arms is one goal, lose 10 pounds is another specific goal, but still there's no time bound to this goal. So we should be able to create a SMART goal instead of just a specific goal. SMART goal includes a specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time bound. So another one, be able to walk to top of parking garage without feeling short of breath. Long-term goal would be just training for a specific race, like a marathon, 10K or a 5K, or just you would just set the goal of running a 5K distance without stopping. That would be another long-term goal. Short-term, smaller steps or mini goals. For example, jog 1 mile without stopping, or jogging 30 minutes continuously. So this is the assignment that is extra credit assignment that is given to you. So first we need to assess our health situation on the first page by looking at our waist circumference, which is an indicator, like we learned, of a cardiovascular disease. That's a risk factor if it is higher than a certain number, so you need to be able to assess that. BMI, height and weight, blood pressure if you can, and resting heart rate, that's easy. You will just use your carotid artery or your radial artery and just count your resting heart rate before you get up from your bed in the morning. And then body fat, that's optional because you might or not know that number. And then the optional measurements, this is blood work showing you again the artery health, cholesterol, good and bad, triglycerides, CRP, an indication of, again, inflammation, homocysteine, again the same thing, glucose, showing if you have any pre-diabetes concerns. And then you're going to list your exercise goals, current activity and exercise status, where you are right now. You have to be able to see where you're standing in terms of your activity levels, and then medical injury history, which would be keeping you away from being active. And then the second page, you're going to test your cardiorespiratory fitness level by one of the 4 tests that are provided for you. These are all choices that you can just pick one out of, and then you're going to record your VO2 max. This has been already discussed and recorded on a Zoom meeting, and you will be able to find it on Canvas. But I'm still covering that for the sake of this chapter too. And then you will put your rating and the population average, and to see where you stand in that average. And then determine the risk category by going to this link. And then this is the design portion. Please do not list the ACSM guidelines, the general guidelines here. This should be personal, what you choose for yourself. The frequency, intensity in terms of BPM, heart rates, you have to do some calculations, and then time and type. And then you will do some muscle strength and endurance testing by doing all these tests, push-up, sit-up, and squat tests. And you will just count the number of sit-ups, push-ups, and squats that you can complete within a minute. And these are the test protocols. Just click on the link and go to that website to follow the steps to be able to find your ratings, and then explain your results. Just these numbers are going to be translated into words in this, and you will design your program starting with a SMART exercise goal. Just like we discussed on the previous slide, you have to formulate a goal by looking at the current situation. Cardiorespiratory fitness, which is the most important component of fitness for health purposes, so that's not optional. Everybody will be designing this. We already did on this page. So the other ones, 2, muscle strength, 3, muscle endurance, 4, flexibility, and 5, body composition. You just pick and choose which one you need to be addressing with the SMART goal. And then describe the FIT formula for each. You can also include the exercises that you would like to include in your program. Don't go into details of rep counts, set counts, and weight. And this is going to be the reflection that you will have after you complete your first planned or programmed exercise design. Just like I just explained for the extra credit assignment, what we do as a next step is selecting the activities. We have to be addressing all these 5 components of fitness: cardiorespiratory fitness, strength, endurance, flexibility, and healthy body composition. How are we going to support our commitment? First, we talked about this again today in the Zoom meeting. You have to find the type. When you apply the FIT principle, you have to be able to get enjoyment and fun out of the activity that you choose for your cardiorespiratory or muscle endurance flexibility exercises. So fun and interest is an important factor, and your current skill and fitness level. Some people cannot swim, so they should not be going with the swim exercise. Time and convenience, like when are you going to do this, and what are your options? Like, do you have enough equipment? Are you going to do it at home or outside? These are the convenience factors that you need to factor in. And the cost is another factor, and special health needs. So we're going to apply FIT for each activity. You just have to set a starting frequency. It should be a starting frequency Maybe it'll change by the progressive overload principle we covered already. So the beginning is 3 to 5 times a week for cardiorespiratory endurance, and then target heart rate zone needs to be calculated, or RPEs, ratings of perceived exertion, but target heart rate zone is more precise and accurate. And your target workout time should be 20 to 60 minutes. These are going to depend on your current fitness level. If you are a sedentary individual, you're going to go with the lower end of the spectrum of these ranges. It's like start with 20 minutes and then gradually increase up to 60 minutes a day. Also, this depends on the intensity. If it's a difficult workout in terms of the intensity, then you need to be going with the lower end of the spectrum in terms of the duration. Sorry. Muscle strength and endurance training, you're going to include 1 or more sets of 8 to 12 reps. This is a general recommendation by ACSM for muscle fitness. So 8 to 10 exercises, 8 to 12 reps, and just 1 or more sets. Flexibility training, do these activities 2 to 3 times per week. When muscles are warm, you might as well include the flexibility as a cool down after your cardiorespiratory or muscular strength exercise. Therefore, you can also work on improving your flexibility especially of the joints that you have problems with flexibility. We would like to hold the stretches for 10 to 30 seconds, like we covered in that flexibility chapter. Try not to go below 10, and you don't have to go above 30 seconds because it doesn't bring additional benefits, as research tells us. Do 2 to 4 repetitions of each exercise. So this is a table you can take a note of that shows you all the components with their associated FIT formula. And then we can just discuss the strategies to be committed to our program. We can set up a system of mini goals and rewards, and try not to have those rewards from food. Break your specific goals into several steps and set a target date for each step. Some people are very driven when they are put on a specific plan and a program. It depends on your personality, so you can do this. Reaching a series of small goals is more satisfying, again, by research, than working toward a single, more challenging goal that may take months to achieve. So you should be able to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So that light will represent your small goals that you broke your large goal down into. The 5th one include lifestyle, physical activity, and strategies to reduce sedentary time in your program. Yes, doing exercise as planned is a good thing, but life happens and we might end up not following the program to a T. But if you have strategies to increase your physical activity, you're going to be in an advantageous position because you're already doing your physical activity. So you can think of ways how you can incorporate more physical activity by cleaning your apartment, gardening, walking to the grocery store instead of driving. Those are ways to increase your physical activity level. And you may also find it helpful to first use a health journal to track your activities. Of course, this is the old style. In the modern times, we just track them with a smartwatch or our phones, and you can just download an app that tracks your steps. You can even enter your food and just, take a picture of what you're doing for a specific day. And 6, develop tools for monitoring your progress. So testing constantly. The tests that you will do in the beginning of your program can be repeated throughout your program to see if you're getting results. This is very encouraging, by the way. Even though you might feel like you don't see any results, if you have objective testing by the numbers, and the numbers are telling you that you're doing better than the first test, that's a very encouraging motivational tool that you can use. And make a commitment. This commitment can be with yourself or with another person, a family member or a significant other, but you can literally sign an agreement with them or with yourself and keep it visible so that it reminds you of your commitment constantly. And how are we going to put your plan into action? How is that going to happen? It is often easier to make a plan than to adhere to it. So we have to consider behavior change strategies. What are those? First, we have to start slowly, not to scare away the body, okay? So, and then increase fitness gradually. We have to be patient. And we can find a buddy that we can exercise with. Right now, yes, we are sheltering in place, but you can always use a person virtually to join you with your workouts, or again, to make a commitment to them. Just promise that you're going to do this workout today, and then they can do it by themselves. Or if you live with a roommate, you can do it together. Ask for support from others. If you live with family or significant others, they should support you by encouraging you and keeping you on your toes, and keeping you accountable to your plan, and varying your activities in terms of intensity and duration. For example, some days you can do high intensity, short duration. Other days you can do lower intensity, longer duration. So that's a very good tactic to be, sticking to your program. And cycle the duration, intensity, like we talked about. Adapt to changing environments and schedules. Yes, you will have relapses. You're not going to be perfectly following every step of your workout plan, but that's okay. You need to be able to adapt to them. Okay, just by increasing your general physical activity level. And again, expect fluctuations and lapses, and choose other healthy lifestyle behaviors. Again, choose your rewards from healthy lifestyle behaviors rather than food. So this is a sample program log that is coming from your textbook. She divided the week into days, and then she's keeping a log of what she's been doing. And this is the first week, total of 23-25 yards. And then the second week she improved it to 24-50 yards. So this is just gonna, keep you in perspective of what you're doing, where you were at, and how you're improving or progressing. And another progress chart, week of the program, and number of push-ups. So this is another goal that you can have, increasing your push-ups. And then the 6 week, this is the plan, by the way, the purple, and then the green is the actual, which is also showing you the same trend of increasing. Okay, so this is coming from a real data, and you can also have your own data. That's fun. You can keep a track on an Excel spreadsheet. Like I said, also an app could do that for you. So you should find your own personal behavior changing strategies that suit you the best. So that's all I'm going to cover for this chapter. Thank you for listening.